Hello, it's me again. In this video, we'll be talking about what is a Terraform provider, where do you find them, how to use them, and stuff like that. Uh, this is part three. If you have not seen first two parts, go and watch those and come back and watch this. Cool. Again, let's look at what they say about a provider, because who's better person to know than the guys who made the tool, right? So it says it's a plugin, right? In last video we talked about providers are what Terraform relies on to get the information about, like how to do things, and where to, like, how to communicate with external parties, how to do things like create a VM, create a network, manage resources. So in last video we talked about there is something called resource, right? Terraform understands a resource. Everything is a resource in a Terraform world. VM is a resource, network is a resource. So providers expose those resources. Terraform core doesn't have any resource in itself, right? For example, an EC2 instance is a resource exposed by AWS provider. A GCP VM is a resource exposed by GCP provider. Think of them as a plugins that are there to make Terraform do what it does, right? Uh, and it also has something called data sources. So data sources is what you can use to pull in data from external sources as well, right? Sometimes you want to know or query the information from external party, like you want to query your account name from AWS. You want to query, let's say, your network name or VPC name or whatnot. You can do that by using data sources. So data sources is how your provider will expose ways for you to query data, and resources is how you manage those. So this is how a data source looks like usually, uh, and you can use it to query, right? And this is what a resource looks like. One second, something like this, right? Resource AWS instance. So this is your resource type, this is your resource name, and this is your resource configuration. You want to use this AMI, this is the instance type that you want, right? So this is how you define. So you can use data from the provider to build other resources, right? It's like information that you want to query, something that is dynamic, stuff like that. uh, you can also read local files, render out templates, use local variables, and define dependencies of one resources on other resources. So you can use depends on tag in your configuration to say, okay, I want to create a network and then create a VM in that network, or stuff like that. Uh, so that's your that's pretty much what provider does. Most of the code inside a provider is this logic, right? So provider defines how to talk to the API. It does all the API calls for you. It does all the error handling for you. And like it knows how to talk to an external API. It knows how to create a VM, which API endpoint to call to create a VM. Like what are error types, stuff like that. So that's where your most of the grunt work, or the how something needs to be done, is handled. So that's what providers are, and that's it. See you in the next video.